Well, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. How about we start again, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, man, you know what? I've put so much effort with Mike into this live stream, and I started off like that. Okay, then. We'll start again. Guys, this is so bad. I can't believe it. Oh, man. Forgive me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, we shall start again. The narrative of what I was saying just a few moments ago, little did I know I didn't have my microphone on. That's really put me off. But anyways, we've got a big story happening in the marketplace. Yes, the market is in that crash mode. And in tonight's live, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to understand about this marketplace that is happening as we speak. Data's coming out tomorrow. NASDAQ has been taking a nosedive. There are many things that have triggered this move to the downside. And what I'm going to do throughout this stream, I'm going to just dive into every aspect to help you guys be aligned with what you can expect moving forward. Okay? Now, let's kick it off. Firstly, forgive me for what's just happened right there. Oh, Mike, shut up, bro. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But anyways, let's roll with the flavor. So, the bigger picture is saying that the Fed needs to increase interest rates. But we knew that anyway. All right? They need unemployment rate to go up. So how's that going to get kicked off? Well, look at Meta, a.k.a. Facebook. 11,000 people are losing their jobs. They started off with the idea that the metaverse was going to be the next best thing. Happy days. I went and even brought myself an Oculus. I brought one for myself and one for my mini market maker, my daughter. And she's enjoying that. But people are saying that the metaverse is boring. So why are you going to have 11,000 people working on a platform with all this investment and no one's enjoying it? Now, the ripple effect of Mr. Zuckerberg declaring that he's got 11,000 people's jobs at stake, there's going to be this move in the market where there's going to be more companies now not having to pay people. And that's sad. There is a lot of money being lost as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, jobs as well. But it's the only way that the market can restore itself. Look at Twitter. Now look, Elon goes and sells $4 billion worth of stock, Tesla stock. What's he used it for? No one knows fully whether it has been used to service the Twitter deal. But he gets rid of all these people to only try and bring them back again. You've got to understand what's going on in relation to the midterm elections. You've got the Republicans that it ain't looking so good now. The red wave ain't happening. Now, let's look at it like this. For the guy who needs to understand the story of Republicans and Democrats, Republicans are kind of like the guys that are, let's just get on with it, man. Let's make that money. Let's just roll. That's what the Republicans are all about, okay? Then you've got the Democrats, who are all about regulation. They want the red tape on there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth. Now, cryptocurrency is all about this regulation story, and it's had this cloud of regulation on its head. Donald Trump ain't so happy right now, guys. He ain't going to get a good chance at taking power again, which I do believe that if Donald Trump were to come back in power, back when he was in power, the economy was doing all right. The problem was he kept on going to Twitter and it kind of shook out foreign exchanges. Like dollar yen was taking absolute mad moves anytime Mr. Trump spoke. Okay? We've got this problem with FTX. Sam ain't being saved, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like karma is about to bite him twice. CZ's talking about pulling out of the deal. Why? Because FTX's books don't look so great. Poor old Solana. Anyone holding Solana would only think that Solana's the next Luna. And look what happened there. Okay? Tomorrow we've got the inflation data coming out. JP Morgan said it clean. Okay? Get defensive, long dollar. That's exactly what they said. Okay? Yet, only 2 days ago, prior to the midterms, they were saying that the midterm elections could actually see a rally in the marketplace. Where's your rally, bro? Rally to the downside. The Black Swan event. What's the story there? Is this the Black Swan event? This is what's on my mind, ladies and gentlemen. The Black Swan event, where an unprecedented move is going to take place. You think this move is bad? Well, let's just look at the perspective of what's going on in the markets. NASDAQ hasn't tested that last low from this last week. S&P hasn't done that either. Gold has retracted, and Dixie, or dollar dominance, is starting to climb up even more, going back into vector candle regions, which we will be talking about very shortly. I've got my eye on Bitcoin, guys. I'm keeping an eye on it, and that bad boy is just taking a nosedive. They said it cleanly, guys. Fear mode is fully engaged. Now, fear mode can also mean buy mode. But we haven't had the response to data just yet. Several banks, several hedge funds are all calling for 0.5, 0.6 on the CPI data that comes out tomorrow. Any good news regarding inflation, which they are projecting that it's going to cool off a little bit, only slightly. But what you've got to remember as well is just because it's cooling off ever so slightly, it's not stopping the Fed. The Fed's still got the problem of a strong, stubborn workforce. We need more companies, and this is the sad truth, guys. I'm sorry. More companies need to declare more layoffs so that the ripple effect can take place. The more people that are unemployed, the easier it is going to be for the Fed to stop increasing the interest rates. There is no cap right now. They're talking about March 2023, that 5% will be the zone. I don't think so. Unless we have the clean wipeout across the board. I need that Black Swan event, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to happen because the market can only go down for so long. Remember, the market factors the future in now. Future doesn't look so great, does it? Given that Bitcoin has dropped way more than 10% today, even 12%, even 13, 14. How much has Bitcoin dropped? With all this information that I'm giving you guys, you're probably sat there thinking, bro, what's this Brer talking about? How am I going to make any money on this? Now, if you're a holder, two things are coming to mind. Bitcoin's cheaper, and do I pick it up now? Because inside those two comments themselves, you're going to think, if I pick it up now, what if it continues lower? What if the prospect of an 8K Bitcoin is on the cards? Bitcoin would have to aggressively come back up to the 20K and continue for us to be even in the impression that Bitcoin is the hedge against inflation. It's not doing a good job. Binance, FTX, there's a problem in the crypto space. Like I said to you guys, all right? Coins, utility, great. We as crypto enthusiasts are always going to be the most positive people when it comes to talking about the utility of a coin. But guys, look, FTX, exchange, cool. They came with best intentions, probably as a company. But the brains behind the actual company itself, well, good old Sam Bankman, it's kind of stopped him in his tracks. Binance will take claim to the throne. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to quickly go into the charts and navigate exactly where we stand. Firstly, I want to apologize for what just happened. Welcome to the boomer moments. It's not my forte. I don't do it intentionally. But I get really pumped when I do these sort of live streams and have these conversations. I just lose my mind. So, no problem there. Yeah, we cool. Happy days. Let's roll with it. Okay, then. So, what have we got? Bitcoin. Sad, unfortunate truth. Now, what did we say earlier on, guys? I said to you earlier on in the live stream to mark off the vector points. Let's go back in time and have a look at those vector points. I said to mark this zone, and I said to mark this zone, and I said that if Bitcoin breaks beyond this region, it's done. And they've done just that. Let's just go over to the high block for a second. This was the high block before. I haven't refreshed this page. This was last refreshed at 10 to 8, okay? There's 27 million at 16,150, all right? You can see where price is right now. Check this bad boy out. And this is on the 12-hour time frame, okay? Lots of shorts are coming in. Loads of shorts. Have a look at this bad boy. We've had $725 million worth of longs at 15,975 get liquidated. Go back into this chart right here, guys. The 7-day chart. Look at this. Check the Bitcoin weekly. Bitcoin is the same price as the election day 2020. Haha. No worries. I'll check that out. Money's been taken, guys. Sad. Here we go. 2.9 billion at 16,800. Let's go even further down here. 2.1 billion. I did it for you earlier on, ladies and gentlemen. They've eaten the money. Traders have paid the price, yet we still got this problem. Look on the 1-year chart. Look at how close we are. Oh, my days. It got tapped. It got tapped. 17,600. $225 billion worth of longs. The situation is shit. But the one thing you've got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, right, is the markets have no loyalty. That means if everyone starts buying tomorrow and that triggers a startup in a move to the upside, then that's exactly what's going to happen. Everyone's just going to be buying. Let's just have a look at FTX for a second. Look at this bad boy over here. Oh, did we not mark these vectors off only yesterday? 18K, $18, 14, 10, 9. Now we're chilling at 2. Vector candle recovery, like I asked you guys. It's all good. Us saying that they can come back to the vector candles. People were saying, no, it can't come back down to this zone. So why can't Bitcoin go to 8K? Remember, Bitcoin is a bigger platform. This situation with FTX is the catalyst. It's the start. There's going to be a response. So whoever is holding FTT as an asset, you can look at it in terms of it being really cheap, but it looks like it's on its way out. Do we have another lunar crash here? Is Binance waiting to declare that they will step in and save good old Sam Bankman so that they can pick up a ton of FTT at a cheap price, release the supply, and buy it all back up? Maybe. How can two guys be in beef and then come to a truce and say, yeah, we're potentially going to buy this bad boy off you? To only step back a little bit and say, you know what? I don't like the idea of your books. They don't make sense. I think I'm going to pull out. Bang. The price reacts. It drops. Last minute. They'll bring it back up again. And that's the truth. Because that's how the game is played. Let's have a look at Binance. 20% drop. Stop hunt rise, rip to the downside, vector candle zones in Binance. Mark these off in your charts. $224.80. Mark that zone off. Because we've got a bag load of liquidity down here for Binance for them to potentially try and eat. This is the reset. This is the cleanup. This is exactly how the business operates. Let's go have a look at the biggest problem for everyone. The dominance of the dollar. I mean, what more do you want me to say, guys? We have spoken in the past. We have now spoken into the future in principle. We anticipated the dominance of the dollar to start coming back up. Were they leaving the clues? And they leave the clues, guys. Look at them come up into the vector candle region here. Look how they've come back up and recovered this. Dollar dominance leaves the clue. Look what they did with this green vector region right here. Smack down, rip it back up. If JP Morgan is telling its investors to go defensive and go long on dollar, then we could only assume that dominance of the dollar is going to continue to climb up and eat this liquidity right here. This tells me that the Japanese, the Chinese are all dumping the yen. There you go. Yen is now pulling back. We said it yesterday. The green vector candle in yen right here, they've taken it back because it doesn't pay them to have a strong yen. And this is why dollar yen will continue to shoot up. It will go beyond the 150 region, in my opinion. Why? Because the dominance of the dollar is going to kick back in again. And that's why assets across the board cannot go up. That's why Bitcoin cannot go up if the dominance of the dollar is here to stay. Look at the yields. Now, the yields took a little bit of a nosedive, which is even worse. All right? Getting rid of some bonds, selling up so that they can move to dollar. One interesting thing is gold. Gold, disturbingly enough, has been holding out very well. This is for the inflation tomorrow. That's my opinion. I do believe that the data tomorrow will come out positive, showing that the inflation has dropped slightly. But they've already installed in our minds that the Fed is still going to be aggressive with the interest rate policy. They have to be because of the jobs market. So even if gold does decide to take a little bit of a retracement back down, if they don't drop down tonight, that will tell me that investors are running to commodities, which leads me up to oil. Oil is not favored anymore because people are running to dollar. But gold is holding out. Now, gold normally has a positive correlation to Bitcoin. So when gold actually continues to hold, you would principally expect Bitcoin to do the same thing, but it hasn't. Let's have a look at some stocks. Tesla, nosedive, simply on the word that Elon has sold $4 billion worth of shares. If we just look at Tesla on the higher time frames, it's like vector candle recovery, $157. I mean, even if you do go over here, there are vector zones inside of this region right here, guys. And that's the truth. You go into smaller time. Let's go to the 11-hour chart, for example. We got any vectors? Have we recovered any vectors? We got a red vector on Tesla, which could tell me that there's going to be a gap down later on in tomorrow's open. Look at the strength of this candle. Terrible. Ripped to the downside, which has led the NASDAQ itself to take a tumble. We drew off our projection, ladies and gentlemen. We marked our zones off. I managed to run a couple of shorts on NASDAQ today. Took advantage of this bad boy. Let me show you. Done it on MT4, trade contracts for difference. And we ripped the idea of NASDAQ going lower. Took advantage, building the position. See, when I go short, I don't go short when price is dropping. I go short when it rises. This is the stop hunt. Shift to the downside. When you see a green vector candle appearing at this point, that's exactly where you are preparing yourself to run shorts if the narrative is breaking down. We managed to take ourselves a 3% gain. Happy days. Moving forward from that, ladies and gentlemen, the VIX. The volatility index is now moving up. Usually when it's above 30, that is when you buy. So principally, we would assume that the volatility index, which this volatility index itself suggests the put and call ratio. So it's in relation to options. So if you want to trade options, it means that you have a belief that price will reach a certain point at a particular point in the future. Okay? Now, without diving too deeply into options, the VIX chart shows you the put-call ratio. In other words, are people favoring more higher prices or lower prices? And the old saying holds true. If the VIX is above 30, when it's high, you buy. When it's low, you hold or don't do anything, but principally, you go short. Okay? So now that it's low, people have been going long. In principle, price has been dropping down, but now that this is moving up, everything's been going down. When the VIX goes down, everything moves up. But now that the VIX is moving up, everything's going down. Okay? It works with stocks, which leads me over to this next story. As it stands right now, guys, 485 stocks have taken a nosedive. There has been 2.15% drop on the NASDAQ. Okay? New York Stock Exchange itself, 3.38% and 1.99% on the S&P. What does this mean? Investors are selling. All right? It's what you call a distribution day in the eyes of William J. O'Neill. All right? When you see these distribution days, there's a problem. And when you start seeing a collection of them, there's a problem. And for the first time, Bitcoin is mentioned inside of this little market snapshot. All right? Now, let's just check something out. Not so long ago, do you guys remember me talking about Nancy Pelosi buying some stock? Check this out. Nancy Pelosi brought this stock at $223 at the low of this range. And she brought $10,000 worth of this, 10,000 shares of this stock, Amgen, okay? This bad boy is shifting up to the upside. Not bad play, Nancy. Not a bad play. Now, given that the Democrats seem to be holding it down, is there going to be some legislation put in place to not allow the speaker to have this power to be able to buy stock? I mean, who knows? Who am I to say anything? But here is an example. The turmoil, 485 stocks are down today. NASDAQ down, S&P down. This bad boy's doing great. There's an even gap up. Relative strength rating of 94. This thing is madness. It goes to show when you know, you know. We've got a couple of super chats right now. What we've got? You're welcome. Yes, Mike did actually tell me about this. He did say to me, yo, you might want to pick up AMG. I said, what are you talking about, bro? And he was saying, like, you know, Nancy Pelosi has just bought 10,000 of this stock. I was like, yeah, well, you know, you got to understand. Look, I didn't take advantage of it. My bad. Looking at Bitcoin on the 11-hour chart, I'm just going to throw something out to you. As much as the market is taking a bit of a beating, tomorrow's data is projecting the idea that inflation might cool off. Okay? There's one thing that can happen tonight. Asia is either going to react to this, but from now until Hong Kong and Tokyo open, we might see price drift up. Because this is a battering 15% drop. Look at USDT. What did we say about that red vector candle at 9.22%, ladies and gentlemen? What did we say about it? I know you heard me say it, but I want you to understand and recognize the power of the hybrid system. Look at that bad boy. Vector candle recovery. And look, they came back to the littlest point. Look at this. Inside of this zone. Where's the hourly? Let me bring this bad boy up for you, ladies and gentlemen. A despicable nature of Mr. Market Maker. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. And that's exactly where price is right now. This isn't for me to say, aha, look at my projection. Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to say. Have they been leaving the clues in this chart regarding this move? Every red vector candle has been met because this chart right here is a representation of behavior. Right now, they've just rid all of their stock. And crypto ain't going to be looking too optimistic given with what's going on in the marketplace. If we do get news that Binance does decide to save FTX, everyone will flood that money back into the marketplace. Let's have a look at some altcoins that are trying to hold it down. And like I said to you guys, when you look at altcoins, you go to the totals chart and have a look where you are right now. This is sad. This is sad. $313 billion. There are stocks on the New York Stock Exchange that nearly make up 50% of this liquidity right now, and they're sitting nicely. Everyone's banging on about the idea that cryptocurrency, $1 trillion, great, nice little marketplace. That is cool. But the problem with crypto is people's beliefs are instantly changed, which is why when fear kicks in, this bad boy happens. Now, I noticed a couple of comments not so long ago saying that there are several altcoins holding up well. So what do I need to see? Well, I ain't going to be paying attention to any 800 EMA or 200 EMA or even a 50 EMA because they are just lopsided and they look absolutely terrible. So if I go to my altcoin boss list, who's faring well? Solana ain't faring anything. $13 this bad boy. Not bad. It's cheap. Let's just take a trip down memory lane. I mean, recovery of the vector. Is that a bit of a sore sight to say? I mean, what do you say to that? What do you say? Now, listen, from a trading perspective, the market, when it reacts like this, there has to be a leveling off in the order book. So we're going to see a bit of a retracement. Problem is they'll leave a wick. Problem is it will go back to it. Because once they bring things back into the fray, guys, that's when it will stabilize and try and come back down. Because the narrative will be maintained. There's blood on the streets. Look, there is nothing in terms of my altcoins that I've got here that are doing well. ARX is up 14%. What's going on? Yeah? Any altcoins that are actually trying to do well, like Render Token's taking a nosedive, KAVA's just see you later, recovery of vectors. Look at this, close to what we would call relisting on PancakeSwap. There's your bet. Which should make you understand, guys, when you are, in my opinion, right? Because I want to try and get this across to you all. In my opinion, my experience of being in crypto, because I've been trading Forex for a very long time, and I'm still young in the game, all right? Until I turn in my late 50s, I'll say that I've sat a decent amount of time in the markets. 15 years ain't nothing when you look at that, all right? But because this is cryptocurrency's first bearish market, all right? First reset. When you see this sort of behavior, the only thing that I can say to you all, if this is your first time that you are experiencing this sort of behavior, human nature doesn't change. Go back to the 70s when the interest rate was nearly 15% in the US. From that point, the US market itself, once those interest rates were at their peak, the S&P started a massive move to the upside. Yeah? And the US economy went on to expand for a good 150 months before the next correction. The best way for me to get you to understand the behavior, guys, and this is all about excuses. Remember, I say it to you all the time. People need reasons to buy and sell. Sam, CZ, Binance, FTX, liquidity problems, all right? Elon selling his stock. It's all about making people do things. And the sooner you align yourself with that, the easier it's going to be for you to trade, manage your portfolio when we've got these sort of scenarios. Everyone calling Bitcoin 100K from this point. This is the move. How dare they? How dare they think that the crypto market is going to be any different to the current markets? Cryptocurrency, and I'm sorry to say this, it's not there yet. Cryptocurrency as a marketplace is not there yet to trade by itself, to not have an impact on the S&P. I said it to you. Once Wall Street gets wind of cryptocurrency volatility, that's when it starts following what Wall Street does. And I said this last year, and it's happened. The second you start getting big money coming into the game, they start putting it in. And then when they start taking it out of the legacy assets, they'll start taking it out of crypto. Do you think anyone's bothered about whales dumping, like putting Bitcoin into exchanges? We always hear about whales getting rid of Bitcoin and then it goes back up again. Like, well, it doesn't matter. That's the only macro that you can use in terms of cryptocurrency. Let's be honest. What data can you use? What, the glass node? All right. How many addresses are being created? All right. How many people are depositing into exchanges seeking liquidity? It's irrelevant, man. That's why I talk about the legacy markets, because we've seen the transition. They follow where the smart money goes. But I'm not saying this, guys, to alarm you, but I am preparing you to be aligned with what to expect. Bitcoin still has more room to go down. I never make a call, but if the 8K does come in, we'll be finalizing the vector candles in this zone. And that will be a sad sight for cryptocurrency. Okay? We still haven't got the final meeting by the Fed in December regarding the interest rates. They're already saying we're going into what would be a mild recession. JP Morgan, long dollar. Don't make bold claimants like that, man. You do not say that in this sort of marketplace. But you know what the old saying is. Buy on rumor, sell on news. Yeah? Long dollar, sell it. Or the idea that interest rates could be increased. Start buying up, man, because the market's going to factor that in the future. The game is all psychological. Again, You need a reason to buy and you need a reason to sell. Okay? Now, moving forward, Forex. As always, I would say that Euro has fared very well given that the dominance of the dollar has shot up today. All it's done is recovered this green vector candle. Now listen, the best thing about Euro is this. It's waiting for tomorrow's data. That's why dollar yen is not really moving up aggressively. Yeah? They're waiting for tomorrow's data. There's a thing in Forex. When they hold the majors, which would be USDJPY, EURUSD, GBP USD. All right? Pound sterling, euro, and then dollar yen. Now, when they hold the majors, they'll be moving the smaller currency pairs, the exotics. When they hold the majors, it's because they're waiting for data to come out. Now, some of you guys may be fully aware that the carry trade principle is something that institutional fund managers do and banks, where they take dollar and yen as low-yielding assets, which means you get a less of a return, exchange those, borrow those assets, go to higher yielding assets like Aussie and buy stock. And the behavior of when Aussie goes up tells us that they're buying stock. When it's going down, it tells us that they're consolidating. Okay? But the takeaway for you guys is this. Focus exclusively on dollar. You can see blood is on the streets. Everything is negative. All right? Naturally, going into tomorrow, we will see a little bit of a recovery. It might not be long, and it might not last very long either, okay? But just looking at Bitcoin, look, you can see we've got a wick. It's starting to make a move up, okay? They've exhausted the range. Volume is strong, very strong here. Now, I don't know if any of you are losing your minds or you're at fear. You're looking at your holdings and you're saying to yourself, shit. What do I do? This is where you either say to yourself, do I want to maintain diamond hands? Do I want to just hold? Do I just buy more Bitcoin? How many of you are in the mindset that cryptocurrency could have its day here? Because I don't think cryptocurrency is going anywhere. Because if cryptocurrency was just simply a market, this market would have gone a long time ago. But because cryptocurrency has a utility, it's the only reason why Bitcoin will come down to a certain point and it will start coming back up again. So it's not all that bad when you think about it. It's about whether or not you are prepared to wait and whether you as a trader or as a holder are prepared to absorb movement. I did a live stream today for the patrons of the channel. And it was talking about seeking resistance and pain in understanding the way to trade. Because when you open a trade, whether you dollar cost average with Bitcoin or whatever it is that you actually do with your trading or investing, all right, you're always put to a point of pain and resistance when you are led to make a decision. And it's always at that point where you make the decision. You never have resistance and pain when you are witnessing your balance growing. No one is sad when their money bags are increasing in value. That's where you don't make the important decisions. You make the important decisions when you're at the loss, when it's bleeding out. Now, some of you might have negative drawdowns in your portfolios. And Warren Buffett says it simply, all right? These are the best times to pick up everything at a discount. Now, it's a bit rich me saying that, given that the title of this video is Dark Days Ahead. But they're not all the time, because this machine cannot break down. It can't. Now, everyone's talking about Bitcoin halving. Yes, by principle of supply and demand. You know, you halve Bitcoin supply or whatever. It's naturally going to increase in value. Cool. So we need to smack Bitcoin to a certain zone so that we can get it cheap enough, because we, in terms of parabolic movement and the trajectory of Bitcoin, we would anticipate mad movements to the upside. Everything's on a cheap. It's all perspective, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm trying to convey to you. You either lose your mind in this marketplace and then you start behaving irrationally, Or you sit back and you say to yourself, can I fully absorb the story? Markets go up, markets go down. And it's all down to whether or not you, as a person or as a person in the game of trading and investing, can fully apprehend this challenge in your mind. Stop going on Twitter. Stop seeking information. I mean, look, me sitting here, would I sound biased? Am I telling you that I only favor Bitcoin to go lower? I'm going with where the money's going. I'm not going to be that dude that's got his hand up saying 100K Bitcoin, this is where it makes the move. Fuck that. What's the point? Why am I going to lead you guys into thinking something else just so I can get you to click on the video? Ladies and gentlemen, people's earnings, people's hard work, their efforts are being bled out in the charts. I can't tell you where Bitcoin will go indefinitely, but I will bring you into a way of thinking that will keep you aligned with the other side of the story. You want to be blind to bias? Focus on Bitcoin price. Bitcoin can never go below 10K. It can never go below 20K. It can never, and it always ends up doing it. Couldn't go above $100. See you at 67K. Then what? Can never go beyond 40K. Institutional managers, MicroStrategy, liquidation points. Michael Saylor, he's banging away. Happy days about buying Bitcoin. Where's my guy? Yes, he is the Bitcoin maximalist. Cool. You ain't helping the guy who's new to the game, trying to understand where he can make a bit of a buck. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that I haven't chewed your ear off too much. I'm just trying to get you to understand, yes, there are dark days moving forward, all right? You can either lose your mind or you can align it, all right? If you are trading, keep your leverage cheap, keep it short, play the game and enjoy it. But if you do have holdings and you're trying to work out what to do next, look at the charts. You're not going to miss out on any pump, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't going to miss out on Bitcoin mooning out. Bitcoin is going far from the moon. It's going to oblivion. And that's just based on the current price that we're looking at right now. If you are new to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe. I do try my hardest to bring that fire to you and logic and understanding of how this game works. But more importantly, if you can walk away from this stream and say, I get that, I've done my job. Happy days, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you are new, be sure to like and subscribe. Go join us in the Discord. And if you want to learn more about the hybrid system, where we talk more about the trading, check out the Patreon. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Wonderful community in there. And we're always ripping up the charts. And they've had a good day today in there. Take care of yourself, gang. Mad love. Peace.